Sea to Summit started as a bunch of mates trying to find just about the hardest ride we could do somewhere, and it was a logical place to start was to, for us anyway, to start at sea level and ride to the highest point in Australia, which is actually quite a unique event in the world really, mainly because most of the mountains in the world you can't climb, you can't ride a bike up or reach in a day from the coast. And it's only just manageable, which is what makes it such a challenge. It's 248 kilometres by the time you make your way back to Charlotte's Pass. You climb 5.5 vertical kilometres. It looked like the hardest ride, and we wanted to do something tough and raise money for charity, and we were already doing work with Redkite, so the connection was logical.
Well, Redkite is an organisation that supports children and young people with cancer and their families, and we do it by providing real services to meet real and essential needs.
My little cousin has cancer and she's been directly affected by Redkite through music therapy and such. So pretty much any chance I get to raise some money for a good charity doing sporting events, I jump at the chance.
Initially I found out about it when I was on the ward at Sydney Children's Hospital with my daughter Zoe, who was diagnosed with leukaemia about 1.5 years ago. I saw a little flyer and I thought if we get out of here I'll see if I can do that ride.
I think the whole atmosphere here is very inspirational, and I mean just riding 250 k's alone is kind of a big deal, so it's hard not to be inspired.
Pretty nervous, not really sure what to expect at this stage, but pretty excited. It's a good energy, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Looks pretty good, it's a bit foggy, but hopefully that lifts and should be a good, nice, clear day.
Quietly confident, optimistic, so see how we go.
Well, I've got a strategy. I'm going to go out hard in the beginning and push through the middle and then bring it home. That's my plan.
A little apprehensive, but also very excited about what we're about to do.
We have some people who pick Sea to Summit as a personal challenge, and they may not have a lot of history of bike riding. To build up to something like Sea to Summit from a low base, if you gave yourself a year, you'd be giving yourself still a decent challenge. Couldn't run this event without volunteers. Logistically, it's a really tough event to manage, and we have roughly 1 volunteer per rider. Most of the riders will burn through something like 10,000 calories or more on this event, and it's a challenge just to get that back into them, and they're feeding at every possible opportunity. So without volunteers, you just couldn't do it. The Monaro Plains are being true to their reputation. Only 2.5 hours ago we were in Bombala and it was completely still, beautiful sunny sky. In the last 2.5 hours since then, the front's come through, it's really cloudy and the wind's picked up. Across here you can see the main range, which is ultimately our goal. This evening we'll be nestled amongst those peaks and tomorrow we'll be on Kosciuszko. But for now all the riders are thinking about is the 27 kilometres between here and Dalgety, where they get a well-earned long break and a good solid meal. And the volunteers as well will get a chance to take a load off.
I made it there last time, so I know it's a really tough ride. It's one of the toughest rides that I think I've ever done in my life. So I think it all comes down to how you feel on the day, and it's probably a bit more mind over matter.
Best has basically been just the camaraderie that's been going on, the banter, the scenery, and the support we're getting from people that are standing on the side of the road and the support crew.
We're filming here at the somewhat now infamous Baloka Range, and if you look behind me you can see our first couple of riders coming up. The gradient where we're standing is probably close to 15%, but the section they've just ridden up peaks around 18 to 20%, and anecdotally the inside of one of the corners is 26%. Keeping in mind these guys have got 180 kilometres in the legs at this point. They've climbed something in the order of 4,000 vertical metres, and this is Tomas, our youngest rider, who's charging along today. swearing black and blue he'll never do this ride again. It's truly a brutal climb. It's 3.5 kilometres long. Probably one of the hardest climbs many of the riders will have done under any circumstances, but certainly with 9-10 hours of riding under their belt.
The key to that hill is to just go your own pace. Because sometimes it's harder to go slower. If you go slower, you're pedaling so slow. Just like doing squats with 100 kilos on your legs. So if you go a bit harder and hurt yourself, it's a bit easier in the end for you.
Awesome day, good camaraderie, everyone's looking after everyone else.
Oh, well, that's good thing to do, one.
Yeah, I reckon that's one of the toughest things I've ever done.
I'm feeling good. We got here and did the whole ride, so that just felt so good. It was hard at the end, but actually the last 3K, once we knew we were going to make it, it got easier. So feeling good now.
The weather's been really variable this year, which played a factor in how many riders made it to the end. The wind really picked up in Bombala and it was really blowing hard across the high plains and it took a lot out of the riders. So as a result, we had about 7 riders that made it to Charlotte's Pass, and then the rest of the bunch made it painfully close, but we had to enforce the cut-off. It's a huge effort by everyone. Everyone got well over 200 kilometres, and it's a credit to all the training they did and of course to all the volunteers. Thanks again to our supporters and our sponsors who we couldn't do this without.